Believe it or not, there was a time when Idaho was a bit behind the times when it came to technology. But even then, the gem state was sometimes ahead of the curve for making national news. Well, 24 years ago this week, those two things kind of met at a crossroad when the small Owyhee County town of Marsing was enjoying its first ever automated teller machine. Or were they? John Miller went to find out in today's 208 Redial.
Marsing, unassuming Marsing, down home Marsing. You'd never think it could happen in Marsing.
That's the ATM, huh?
Yeah, this is our famous Marsing ATM.
George Wilson installed it himself.
You had no idea it was going to make you so darn famous, did you?
Had no idea at all. I went to our local grocery store and one of the clerks says, "Hey, take a look at this magazine." And they opened it up and kind of surprised me.
Because suddenly, down home, peaceful, loving Marsing became the tiny town that gets its first ATM and hates it.
We didn't say that.
Who believes what they write in the Enquirer anyways?
Well, I find it real useful.
Apparently, the Enquirer was so amazed that George Wilson installed the town's first ATM that they even quoted him directly. What's even more amazing?
Did anybody even call you from the Enquirer?
Nobody.
Well, that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah. So we thought maybe we could quote the Enquirer without even talking to them. How about this for a quote? We regret the error. We are a sort of unfactual tabloid.
Well, that sounds real good to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Little Mayberry. That's what outsiders call our town, say residents of Marsing, Idaho.
You're an outsider. You ever called it a Little Mayberry?
Nope.
So they're saying you guys are like Mayberry, that the town hates the ATM. I mean, I'm worried what's going to happen here. I mean, I feel unsafe standing here with all the raging residents.
Dang machine!
Well, I guess all I can say about that is I feel honored to use this world-famous ATM.
Next thing you know, we're going to have even more people move in, and then they're going to want to put in a street light.
John Miller, Idaho's News Channel 7.
Back then, George told John the town's take on the ATM was actually quite the opposite. It was very popular and was visited by 10 to 12 customers today. Still no stoplight, by the way. Today, that hasn't happened a lot lately. George's ATM, that's been gone for years in Marsing. In fact, 24 years later, Tom Bledsoe, the owner-operator of the Blade Slinger Barbershop on Main Street in Marsing, tells us there isn't a working, accessible ATM in Marsing.
No, not that I know of. Nothing that's accessible right away.
So if you needed some cash in the middle of the day in Marsing, what do you do?
That's actually a big problem. Here in the barbershop, we have to make sure that we have cash just from our pockets or bringing in from outside of the area so that we can have some. Because if we run out during the day, we actually have to stop taking cash payments too large because of that problem. There used to be a bank across the street, but we can't do that anymore.
Okay, so 24 years ago, we did a story on Marsing getting its very first ATM. And now you're telling me that there isn't one that exists.
Yeah, in ways, I think it's getting smaller.
Now, the U.S. Bank located across the street from the barbershop, as we just showed you, with the only accessible ATM in town for years, well, that closed in July of 2020. It's about to be a dentist office. We did make some other calls around town, and there are other ATMs located in the city that is sitting on the banks of the Snake River. They're just inside places like Paradise Grill and the Poorhouse, a couple of businesses that love puns, but they aren't open 24 hours a day. There's also one inside the M&W grocery store, but they told us, that's where they still sell that National Enquirer, by the way. But they told us today that ATM has been broken for the past 3 weeks. So Marsing, 24 years after making tabloid news, is without a way to get cash at like 8 a.m. in the morning.